This is FightFans Radio.
Welcome to Across the Pond with your hosts, Andre Jacobs and Matt Simpson.
Oh God, we're actually back. We're back. It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is FightFans Radio, and welcome to Across the Pond MMA. Hope you're all fantastic. I'm feeling great. We took a 2-week hiatus because me and Matt were having a divorce, but we came back together in a massive affair of man love. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know about the massive affair of man love. I don't know that happened, actually. But yeah, it was...
He's denying it as well.
It was a nice break, and I have had a pretty interesting weekend. So I went to see the Broncos at the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a good time watching Peyton Manning put a whooping on the Bengals.
Oh shit! Sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I don't really know anything about American football. I'm sad to say I'll watch it.
All you need to know is that since you don't know anything, that you just root for the Denver Broncos. That's what you tell people.
Are they actually a good team?
Yes, they're a good team.
Okay, here's a question, right? I'm a Boston Celtics fan. My dream one day is to go to Boston and see a Boston Celtics game, right? What's the closest American football team to Boston? Do Boston have an American football team?
New England.
But I guess I'm a New England Patriots fan, aren't I?
That's absolutely a travesty.
What?
I don't know that we can probably will have to stop doing the show after this episode.
Are you guys rivals?
No, we're not rivals, but I hate the Patriots.
Why do you hate the Patriots? I don't understand.
They're good, so I tend to hate everything that's good. So that's how I work. That's how my fandom works in the NFL. If you're good, I hate you. Even if we don't have a rivalry with you, I probably despise you in some way or form or another.
Here's the thing, though. I find that when people say that, it's because their team usually sucks.
Yeah, no, my team doesn't. But my team doesn't normally suck. I mean, we make playoffs most years. We've got Peyton this year. We're 5-3. We're going to easily win the division. So,
what the hell happened to Tim
defense
Tebow?
looks good.
What's that? What happened to Tim Tebow?
What happened to Tim Tebow? We got rid of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow's in New York. Thank God.
Was he with you? Was he with you guys? Yeah.
He was with us.
Okay, can you explain to me the whole Tim Tebow thing? Because it was like the whole Jamie Lynn explosion at the same time.
He just has a huge following. I mean, Florida fans are completely psychotic, and that's really what it amounts to. I mean, he's a very likable person. I mean, I liked him, but I didn't want him playing for my football team.
Is he just like a really bad football player, but he's got a fantastic
his thing is that he wins games, but he's not very good at the position he plays.
Was he a quarterback?
Yes, he's the quarterback.
So he's shit at throwing balls.
Yes, he is absolutely shit at throwing balls. I mean, the amount of passes that he overthrew were absolutely amazing.
But sometimes he does a Hail Mary throw, and
sometimes things just work out for him. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Well, enough of my education in American football. Matt, it's been a pretty interesting time in the world of MMA, don't you think? Well, actually, tell a lie. Last week was boring as hell, but
new promotion debuting.
Yeah, it's not been bad. Well, what did you think? What do you want to talk about? Well, the series of fighting. Do you want to talk about Bellator? Which one excited you the least?
The least? They're both about on the same level as far as excitement goes. I mean,
let's talk about Bellator on Friday.
Bellator, we had Richard Hale and Shamalayev both making steps for a little bit further in their quest for a title shot. Richard Hale took care of Thiago Santos, which was...
I enjoyed that Richard Hale fight.
What's that?
You enjoyed the Richard Hale fight, yeah.
Yeah, he got rocked pretty good in that fight. I thought he was going down for the count, and then Thiago Santos forgot his gas tank, and that was
He should. I want to see him in a fight with Antonio Silva at super heavyweight, and maybe Tim Silva is like the person who gets them both at the end.
Maybe Tim Silva is the referee.
Tim Silva is not mobile enough to be a referee. Come on now, we know this.
He'll probably gas as the ref though. But yeah, the best fight of the night was by far and away, unfortunately, again, the shortest fight of the night, and that was Shamalayev and Mike Richmond. They both went right after each other. Shamalayev ended up catching Richmond with a right and dropping him, but it was exciting while it lasted. Douglas Lima against Kobe.
You're a bit of a Mike Richmond fan, aren't you?
No, not really. I mean, I'm not either. I mean, I like both guys. I was really excited to watch both of them fight. I like the Russians, man. I like seeing the Russians do well. So
yeah, Bellator have an abundance of Russians as of late for some reason.
They do. Well, they just go after them. I mean, so somebody's got to get them over here and get them some publicity. There's a lot of talented guys over there.
There's a lot of talented guys, but then you get these guys who are like 20-0. They step foot in and they lose, and I'm like that's like the worst anticlimax ever. I'm expecting this dude to be like the lightweight
world beaters, and then they just suck, sort of.
Literally,
yeah.
I wanted him to like lick his finger, poke the dude in the chest, and the dude would just fly across the cage and be knocked out completely. When you're 20-0, I'm like, I want some spectacular shit.
Yeah, but for the most part, what you always do get with the Russians, though, is an exciting fight. I mean, those guys typically, they bring it, and they can take a beating. So they usually give you an exciting fight. But did you see Douglas Lima Kobe Ortiz fight? Did you get to see that?
I didn't get to see that, actually. I didn't even realize Douglas Lima was fighting. Yeah,
it was a strange fight. I mean, this Kobe Ortiz cat was kind of fighting with his face. It didn't work out well. I guess it worked out well for him for almost 3 rounds. And then in the last 10 seconds, he was kind of running away and got caught with a head kick.
No.
But yeah, it was a bad fight. That's why I felt like with both cards this weekend, you just had some really talented guys fighting some not so talented guys, and guys that could take a beating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it kind of came off as. I mean, like the Ryan Ford Kyle Baker fight that opened the card up. I mean, Ryan Ford is not the most talented welterweight out there, but the dude's got some serious power, throws some decent combos, and just beat the living hell out of Kyle Baker. And Kyle would get the fight to the ground, try to make it interesting, but for the most part, Kyle just took a beating. So, really? I mean, I guess the card overall was a fun card to watch. I mean, Ryan Ford beat the crap out of Kyle Baker for 3 rounds. And then Douglas Lima had that. I always love watching guys get caught with head kicks as they're running away. So, yeah. I mean, that was entertaining.
Do you remember when Eve Edwards caught Josh Thompson with the head kick?
Yes, exactly. So
that was beautiful.
That was fantastic. So, and then Shamalayev and Richmond fight was, like I said, it was a fantastic fight for a minute and a half until Richmond got caught. But in the Richard Hale tale, I thought it was interesting.
Sorry to go on a different way, but when everyone thinks of like really great moments in MMA, it's surprising that no one ever mentions that moment there. It's like it just doesn't get enough love, even though when you look back and you watch exactly what happened, you still go, holy shit, that dude got his block knocked off. That was such a great moment in MMA. But it was because it was Eve Edwards and Josh Thompson. Everyone was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that everybody ignores it just because of that. In fact, you might be the only person to ever bring that up.
But you agree?
Oh, no, I agree. It's fantastic. Like I said, I love it. I mean, if you ought to get online and watch the Bellator highlights and watch Douglas Lima catch Ortiz, because it's basically the same type of thing, and it is flush right on the face. I mean, it was perfect.
Just do both of his feet leave the ground?
I don't remember. He was right up against the cage, so I think the cage caught him.
Oh no! I mean, like, does Douglas Lima? Do both of Douglas Lima?
Oh no! It was just.
See, when that happens, you're just like, damn, that's sick. That's cool. The guy's feet left the ground. Oh my god. But it sounds like I'll have to check the rest of it out. I did see a lot of the World Series of Fighting, but what did you think of that? Who are you impressed with? Because personally, there were quite a few people I was impressed with.
Well, that's what what stinks, man, is I didn't get to catch the prelims, and from everyone I talked to, it sounded like the prelims were the way to go. I mean, the prelims were better than the main card.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't actually talking about the prelims. I didn't get to see those, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, evidently the prelims were pretty entertaining. For me,
Yeah.
the main card was not so entertaining. Evidently, you and I have
Really?
different opinions. I mean, Miguel Torres, Marlon Moraes was Moraes impressed the hell out of me. But
Yeah.
Torres isn't the same fighter he used to be. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to ask you. What happened to the Miguel Torres that we all thought was one of the pound for pound best?
See,
Because
you know what? That's interesting that you brought that up because I've been thinking about that recently. You think about the old WEC days, right? And you remember when Miguel Torres was just rushing dudes, absolutely just crushing them. He's got a mad amount of submissions to his name, but really those submissions came about because he beat the shit out of someone standing, and he hit the floor, and he think, "Oh, I'll get a choke out of this." That was Miguel Torres, right? And just he doesn't have it anymore. It's like
you think that, but is it that he just maybe the talent that he was fighting wasn't quite the talent that he's fighting now?
When I see, when I've been really thinking about it, I've researched it. He fought some good dudes before he got knocked out by Brian Bowles. I was reading an article today about how fighters like bloody hell, who are we talking about here? Fighters
Chase Beebe.
Fighters like Miguel Torres and Takanori Gomi had sort of a feeling of invincibility, right? And once they get really hurt or they really lose a fight, it takes one fight to completely make them not feel like they're invincible anymore. So in the case of Takanori Gomi, it was the Nick Diaz fight, and in the case of Miguel Torres, it was Brian losing the title to Brian Bowles. And it's been like that ever since. He's been on. Okay, I think he beat Demetrius Johnson, but besides from that, how many times have you really, really been impressed with Miguel Torres?
He just doesn't seem like he really presses the fights anymore. I mean, and the Moraes fight, as soon as he got hurt, which happened immediately, it was like he was ready to check out.
I don't know what's going through his head, and you know what's the scary part about it? He could become how do I put this? He could become one of those dudes who we go, what could he have been? And you know how scary that is, because Miguel Torres has been around for years, but he could become one of those guys just by virtue of the fact that he's so talented that it feels like he's not even 30 yet. I don't think he's early 30s, but he's got so much skills.
Yeah, that's why I think that maybe the guy, he needs to just maybe take some time off and coach. He's a fantastic coach. I've had the opportunity to sit and listen to him a couple times, and the guy's just he's one of those guys that really has a skill, has a talent to coach, as a really good coach. And so maybe that's what he needs to do. But who really impressed you in the main card? Was that Moraes? I hope. It wasn't Anthony Johnson, was it? Beating the shit out of DJ Linderman. Really? Andre Arlovski beat Devin Cole. Tyron Spong beat Travis Bartlett, who's a boxer. Is this UFC 8? What are we doing here?
You know what? I was actually impressed with one of those people.
Who were we impressed with?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson's an impressive. The dude's a monster, and he seems like he just keeps getting bigger.
How the blue hell did he ever make 170?
I don't know how he's making 205 now. The guy is just a block of muscle.
Yeah,
you have to be, and he's so stiff though with his striking. I was hoping the Black Zillions would loosen him up a little bit, but he's still really stiff with all of his striking. Of course, it doesn't matter when you throw center blocks at people's heads. But
yeah, of course. But I've watched DJ Lindemann fight many a time at Cage Warriors, and the dude's solid, man.
Yeah.
Take a shot. You can really take. It's not. Oh, look,
you can take a punch. That doesn't mean you're impressive. You can take a punch.
He's not a great mixed martial artist. He's definitely not a great.
He's not great. Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought
in the realm of a very small light heavyweight division, he's alright.
He's okay, I guess. I don't know, man. The main card really felt like like a mixture of like UFC, early UFC, and then like maybe a UFC 25 thrown in there is what it kind of felt like to me. I mean, hey, it's a free card, and I like Andre Arlovski, man. Been a fan of his since way back when. And Anthony Johnson, I like Anthony. I like all the guys that fought. So I mean, it was great to see him fight for free. And
how my pee taste.
That's nice. And seeing Arlovski get a knockout, I mean, that was that's good for Arlovski. $350,000 in his pocket, and he didn't get knocked.
$350,000? No. The entire thing cost $350,000.
I thought that was his payday. I must have misread the article.
He got like $60,000. To be honest, the World Series of Fighting, as as decent as a first fight as it was, they just lost $350,000.
Yeah, man. I thought it was.
Anybody from that?
I don't know, man. NBC will probably pick it back up just because NBC Sports. I didn't even know they had a NBC Sports channel until this fight was announced.
Dude,
so,
they paid to be on that channel.
Well, that makes sense because there's probably no advertisers paying to be on that channel. So, I mean, maybe they'll be on that channel again. I don't know. It was like I said, I watch Legends of Fighting. I've watched Legacy of Fighting, Maximum Fighting Championship. A lot of the smaller promotions. For the most part, they all do it better. So. I think that if these guys get aggressive and go after names and stuff, I mean, they can maybe give it a run. But the production values were kind of crappy. Boss Rutan, I enjoy Boss. I'm glad to see Boss getting the call fights. That's pretty sweet. But I'm not. I don't think this promotion is going to hang around.
Okay, fair enough. We haven't had a chance to talk about the Chael Sonnen and John Jones coaching on the Ultimate Fighter 17. What were your thoughts when that happened?
Oh man, I'm not looking to that. I mean, Chael Sonnen, seriously, I think we did touch on it a little bit. I think that John Jones is going to destroy him. I don't see Chael's not a light heavyweight. I mean, and Chael doesn't have anything dangerous standing up. So he's not powerful enough to get John down.
Chael Sonnen's got some decent boxing.
Oh, come on. He's got decent. That's funny. I don't even really know how they're going to promote this fight. How do you promote a guy that just lost and hasn't fought at light heavyweight for 6 or 7 years? How do you promote that?
I don't know. I'm interested.
And I think the last time he fought at light heavyweight, he lost. You have to look that up, but I think he did. And so, how do you promote that fight?
Erica, can you tell us if that's true, please?
What are you looking for?
Did the last time Chael fought at light heavyweight, which is 6-7 years ago, he lost, didn't he?
I do believe he did. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me check.
So that makes so much sense that he's fighting John Jones.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Considering we might have already talked about this, and we don't want to go back on some old things. It's been such a long time that we've actually spoken that I couldn't remember if we'd actually spoken about it. But if that's the case, we've got some breaking news. Well, breaking-ish news. Eddie Alvarez released early by Bellator. How much money was he asking for? Is my question.
Obviously, too much.
Big money.
It'd have to be a lot for Bjorn Rebney to just walk away from it. I mean, Eddie's one of his flagship fighters, so. It'd have to be a big pot full of money.
How much would you reckon it is?
I have no idea. I'm horrible at guessing fighter salaries. Every time I try to do that, I'm so way off that it's not even funny. So I'm not going to embarrass myself by taking a guess at that.
Fair enough. Cool.
So who are you looking at him fighting now that he's a free agent?
I can see him going to Strikeforce, and no, I'm kidding. He's going to go to the UFC. Obviously, there's no way he can't go to the UFC. But who would I like to see him fight? I would like to see maybe in his first fight they give him Matt Wyman. I think that would be a cool fight.
Yeah, Matt Wyman would be good. I mean, I kind of wonder, are they going to take it and throw him him something in the top 5, though? I mean, Wyman's not really a top 5 guy.
I know, but I think they want to showcase him. You know, he could be the lightweight, the new BJ Penn in the sense that he's very marketable. Whereas, you know, how marketable is Benson Henderson? And, you know, how marketable is Benson Henderson? Does he earn pay-per-view draws? No, not really. Eddie Alvarez, though, you know, he could be that guy. He sort of, you know, he brings across that Rocky aura. He was, you know, born in Philadelphia.
He's kind of Frankie Edgar-ish.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think I would like to see him. I would like to see Strikeforce just dissolve, and then Gilbert Melendez, Eddie Alvarez. That's the fight I would like to see.
Do you know what? That's a fight. That's a fight that I've wanted to see since I actually started doing journalism in MMA. I would love to see that fight.
Well, then, who would you take in that fight?
Put me on the spot, why don't you, Matt? Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to go with Gilbert.
Really? You would see? Gilbert has been so unimpressive the last few outs, and I mean, Josh Thompson's a solid lightweight, but I think that I might take Eddie Alvarez in that fight.
I genuinely think that Gilbert Melendez could beat Benson Henderson.
No way, Gilbert Melendez beats Benson Henderson.
I really think he could.
You know what? I thought that maybe a year and a half ago, but his last 2 fights, I've just not been impressed with. I mean, again, we've talked many a time. I mean, injuries and stuff happen behind the scenes we don't know about. They don't always let us know about those things. So things can be going on at home that can affect a fighter inside the cage. But I've not been impressed with Gilbert, man, and so I can't say that I could see him beating Benson Henderson. Benson
Henderson. I think the reason why he's not been so, you know, fantastic as of late is because he just doesn't feel challenged. He wants to feel, you remember the times when Gilbert Melendez was like, I want to fight the best in the world. I want to do this. He's more about the money now. You know, he's come to terms with the fact that he's probably not going to make it to the UFC unless Strikeforce dissolves and they can buy off the contracts from Showtime.
Yeah, but I guess I still think when you go out there, you want to put. I mean, I get having one down fight, but he had 2 back-to-back fights where I just, you know, it looked like.
You know what? I think that's a bit harsh. You know, like what was the fight? The fight with Jorge Masvidal wasn't a barn burner, but the fight with Josh Thompson was damn competitive, man. That was a good fight.
Well, I guess I think that it was a good fight, but to me, he should have dominated Thompson. To me, I mean, Thompson is a solid, guy around the top 12, top 13, top 14, and Gilbert Melendez is looked at by some as the number 1. And to me, he should have put on a more dominating performance.
Okay.
I mean, that's maybe I'm being too harsh there, but just from if you listen to all the talk and where everybody thinks Gilbert Melendez's skill set is, he should have handled Josh Thompson.
Potentially. I think Josh Thompson's one of those dudes who, one, obviously they've fought so many times now that it's a bit hard to
And that might be too. Yeah, they fought so many times. You know the fighter. I mean, that's an advantage to each guy.
And they used to train with each other.
And so that can play into that fight too. I guess we'll find out the next outing we see Gilbert and see where he's at.
Who would you like to see besides? I've said Matt Wyman. Obviously, Gilbert Melendez was just brought up because they've always had sort of that running thing. Do you remember back in the day when there was the potential co-promotion between Bellator and Strikeforce, and it'd be champion versus champion, and that's why we would have seen Gilbert Melendez versus Eddie Alvarez?
Yes.
Years ago, doesn't it?
Years ago, but it wasn't. I would like to. I don't know. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him in the cage with Donald Cerrone or TJ Grant.
Yeah. Oh, TJ. Do you know what? TJ Grant, another underrated fighter who's done so well at lightweight. I
think that Donald Cerrone, though, man, because of the popularity. I mean, there's still so many people out there that think that UFC is MMA, and even though the majority of the community, I think they know who Eddie Alvarez is, there's still a lot of people out there that don't know who Eddie Alvarez is. And so if he had a fight with somebody like Donald Cerrone, that would, I think that would really put him on the map, especially if he took care of business against Donald Cerrone.
Yeah. I mean, well, excuse me, sorry. That's boring me.
Go fuck yourself.
You knocked me off my train of thought. That would be a fantastic fight, just, simply because those two would just, there would be no letting off. They'd just go at each other. That would be a great fight to see. And you know what? It's definitely something that can happen down the line because they're not exactly like old in age. Neither of them are going to retire, touch wood, over like injuries or anything like that. So there's definite possibility of us seeing that fight very soon.
No, for sure. So I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens though. So hopefully we'll have some type of announcement here in the next month. I think all the lightweights are fighting for the most part here in the next month and a half. They've all got fights set up, so it should be pretty interesting to see where it all goes.
No, definitely. What are your thoughts on Stephan Bonnar?
Well, you know my thoughts. I'm not surprised in the slightest. I mean, it's until they start, doing some serious testing, it's going to be a problem in the UFC and all MMA for that matter. Fighters are going to look to try to gain an advantage. And I mean, Stephan Bonnar, he's fighting. I mean, just think about this though for a second. If Stephan Bonnar would have won that fight, okay, your pound for pound greatest fighter of all time gets beat by someone who's cheating. And so, I mean, he's tarnished now because he's lost. Even though he lost to a steroid user, he lost.
It would have been a no contest, though.
It doesn't matter, though. People would have watched him lose, is my point. If Stephan Bonnar would have went in there and finished him in some form or another, I mean, that's where you've got to do pop tests, man. You can't sit and let these guys sit in their camp and use. If it's illegal and you want to, you want to have a clean sport, then you've got to test during camp, and it has to be done. Otherwise, start having all the events in Asia and let them use all the steroids they want. Because, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. It just drives me nuts because you've got so many guys out there using it.
That sounded remarkably Chelsea interview, by the way. When you said that. That was funny.
For that, but
I didn't think you were, to be honest, mate. I didn't think you were. That was really. I nearly lost it.
But that's where I'm at with it now, man. I'm not surprised. And you listen to fighters interviewed because I knew we were going to talk about that. So I thought, I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to see what the fighting community is saying, and nobody cares for the most part. None of the fighters care about other fighters using steroids. I mean, there's a select few. I mean, the champions, they don't want to lose their belt to a user, but the guys coming up, they don't care. And that tells me the reason they don't care is because they know so many people are using, and that there's just nothing to really say about it. That's my opinion. There's so many people that do it that it's the norm. People know. I mean, it's just society hates it. It's illegal, and I don't know, the society hates it. I think it's just, it's the state athletic commissions, it's illegal, so you're not supposed to be doing it.
That's a sad state of affairs when that's the case, isn't it?
Oh, I think so too, man. And that's why I'm for the blood test, that way you catch them, you catch everything. Not the, urine tests don't catch everything. So, but like I said, I've said I don't think Dana White cares. I don't think most of the promotions care because steroids let them have better fights, let them have fighters fight more often. They can fight longer. They can fight longer into their careers using performance enhancers of different sorts, and that makes them money. So why the hell would they want to stop that?
For sure. I mean, it's interesting with the whole Victor Conte thing, which is going on right now, and him wanting to sort of help clean the sport and whatever. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Right, John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. Those two have been going at it recently. What are your thoughts on that, man? I really do want to see that fight, but I'm not going to lie.
Well, the last thing I heard was probably a month ago. DC was saying that he would move down to light heavyweight. Is that still where it would happen if it was to happen?
Say again?
The last thing I heard was that DC was talking that he would move down to light heavyweight to fight John. Is that what they're talking about?
Yes, it is. But, you know, with John Jones really sort of shouting from the rooftops that he's going to be going to heavyweight in 2013, by the way, I'm pretty sure every single light heavyweight in the UFC sort of went, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't know, man. DC, I said a couple years ago I thought DC was going to be the UFC heavyweight champion, and I kind of have to stick by that, man. I think the guy is fantastic. I think he's got some of the best combos, if not the best combos, in the heavyweight division. He's just going to get better. His big downfall right now is that hand, and you know he's broke it twice. And if that's a case where that's gonna constantly be a problem for him. That's definitely going to affect his ability to hold on to a title and to get to a title shot. So I think that it'd be a fantastic fight. DC's extremely strong, and I think that that's something that that's really the only thing that you can go at with John with it is maybe to overpower the guy, because I mean striking wise, I mean he can keep you at a distance, and he's he's great at judging distance. And he's fast, and if he moves up to heavyweight, he's going to be one of the faster heavyweights. So I don't know; it'd be a tough matchup, but I would probably go with DC. Just 'cause like I said, 2 years ago, I thought DC was going to be UFC heavyweight champion eventually, and until he loses, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay, fair enough. Right, we're going into the end stretch of the year. So my question is to you, Mr. Simpson, and to you, Erica, as well. 5 fights of the year that you are really looking forward to from any promotion. Thoughts? Discuss.
At the end of this year? Is that what you're...
Yeah, you know, we've got November and December coming up. Plenty of really great fights. What are your thoughts? Who you got? What 5 fights are exciting you? What fights are you looking forward to?
I'll let Matt do his first. How about that, Matt?
I thought Matt disappeared.
No, Matt is here.
There was a dead silence, and I was like,
Matt spaced out
Jesus.
for a second. It happens every once in a while. I just kind of get lost, and I'm like looking at the pretty collars, and I don't know what the hell's going on. But it'd be really easy to go with there's 3 championship fights in the next 6 weeks, something like that. So I decided to get away from those. The number one fight that I'm looking forward to the most, just because I think it's going to be a fantastic fight, is Brad Pickett, Eddie Wineland. I think that fight is going to be super fun to watch, and that's my number one. Another fight that I'm really looking forward to, just because I'm not a believer in the guy, and I'm interested to see how he does against another top fighter, and that's Hector Lombard versus Husamar Palhares. I'm really interested to see what Lombard does after the Tim Bosch debacle, and see how he comes out from that. Another fight that I'm looking forward to, Eddie Yagan versus Dennis Seaver. Eddie's crazy, wild man in the cage, and Dennis is very technical. Fight that could be a fantastic fight to watch. And then finally, my boy Johnny Hendricks going against Martin Kampmann. Another fight that I can't wait to see what happens there when you got Martin Kampmann with a very technical striker, Johnny Hendricks a ton of power and a constantly improving striking game, and obviously solid wrestling. And then Kampmann's got great subs, so great guillotine. So if Johnny tries to get him to a double leg and get him to the ground, things could get a little hairy for Johnny. So another fight I couldn't wait to see.
Cool. For me, let's give Erica a little bit more time to think about things. For me personally, Nate Diaz versus Benson Henderson, that's going to be an absolute barn burner. Really looking forward to that. I think they're going to bring the both out of each other, and they're going to create a classic. I am also looking forward to GSP versus Carlos Condit, simply because I have this weird feeling that Condit is just going to absolutely crack him with like a vicious knee when he goes for the takedown. And the booing from the crowd is going to be so fantastic. It's going to be just mouth-watering in a sense. It's going to be absolutely amazing. What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Mac Danzig versus Takanori Gomi, because I think I was really impressed with that. And Danzig's always sort of been inconsistent in certain ways. And when he has good fights, he has good fights. When he doesn't have good fights, he doesn't have good fights. But I think that, the first fight in Macau, and it's against a legend like Takanori Gomi, who, in my opinion, Danzig has to, respect, because he is, as funny as this sounds, he is one of the greatest lightweights to ever grace the cage. So I think that's going to be a good fight, and they're going to bring the best out of each other as well. BJ Penn versus Roy McDonald. Really looking forward to that fight, because it's either going to be a massacre or a really great, great fight. And it's going to be
I'm really leaning towards massacre.
Oh God!
I hope not, man. I love BJ, but joke.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
You just left it hanging. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a massacre.
What else? What other fights coming up?
What about Matt? I tell you what about Matt Brown versus Mike Swick?
Yeah, that could be a good fight.
Matt Brown always brings it, and Mike Swick his second fight back, so that could be an entertaining fight as well.
Indeed. I'll definitely go with that. I think I've got one more left. I'm gonna also go with Brad Pickett versus Eddie Wineland. I didn't want to, but I'm so excited for that fight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I really think that of all the fights that are left, I mean, outside of the championship fights, I think that fight is going to be the best fight of the fights we've got remaining.
Okay, cool. Erica, you figured out 5, or you're a bit sort of...
I am frantically trying to figure out what my 5 fights would be.
Okay.
Unfortunately, some of the fights that I'm really looking forward to at the very beginning of the year, not necessarily at the end of the year. I do have to say, UFC 155 is an absolutely stacked card. I mean, just stacked. And,
there isn't a bad fight on the card.
Say what?
There isn't a bad fight on the card. Touch wood, no injuries.
I don't think there is either. Knock on wood that we end up with the card as is. But I would have to say, and this may seem cheap. Thanks, Matt, for making me seem cheap, because I'm going for a championship fight. But Dos Santos versus Velasquez, I don't know if I've really been quite this excited about a rematch, because their first one, in my opinion, is still so clouded in something. It's just it was the hoopla of the first fight on Fox, and then for the fight to only last 60 something seconds, and kind of an awkward knockout from JDS. And I don't think Velasquez was fully ready for the Fox fight. But he didn't really have a choice. It was so big, he didn't have a choice but to go through it with it. You can't dump out on the UFC, for their most monumentous occasion as a promotion. And then
he took one for the team, really.
And to be honest with you, I really think that Velasquez, I picked him the first time to win. I was wrong, but call me a fool, but I'm picking him to win the second fight.
Mm-hmm.
No
one's calling you a fool. Realize that.
I mean,
no one here has called you a fool yet.
I really wouldn't blame you if you did, because
Well, that's an evenly matched fight. I mean, and they're heavyweights, man. They can hit like a ton of bricks. They could knock each other out. So I don't think you can go wrong picking either fighter myself.
I just don't think, and I might get massacred for this, and feel free to send me an email, erica@fightfansradio.com, if you think I'm an absolute idiot for this, but I am still not sold on JDS.
Okay, now I might have to send you an email.
I'm just not sold on him. I don't think his boxing is that great. I think he hits really hard, but he carries his hands a little bit low. He uses the same combinations over and over again. And he hasn't really fought anyone, I think, that has been up there in the striking department or in the grappling department. Don't say Frank Mir, because Frank Mir, he's great once you get on the ground, but he's shit getting people down there. We talked about the Velasquez fight. Who else has he fought that really had, was somebody that we were like, man, their stand-up game is phenomenal. I don't know how this fight's going to end up.
There's not that many guys in the heavyweight division where I think they have just phenomenal stand-up games either.
I think Velasquez might actually have. I don't know if technically wise he might not be quite as sound as Dos Santos, because he's really good at those few combinations he does. every 15 seconds. But
it's a mute point though because DC's winning it all.
yes, yeah, and I would say DC. I would actually say DC has the best boxing out of all the current heavyweights,
And it's just getting better.
and it's just going to get better. I think Velasquez has more dynamic striking than Dos Santos, in my opinion, and I think that his if he's on point. I think his wrestling is really going to give JDS problems, and I think we're going to see a completely different fight the second time around. If it ends up in the exact same way, shame on me. You know, I don't know what I can do to back out of that, but that's just kind of how I feel about that particular
You
fight.
just have to
about
own
idiots.
it if it is. It's just
Yes,
how it
I'm just
goes.
going to have to own it. I'll have to go on air and say, I'm an idiot. I own it.
Oh,
Bel-
don't worry, I'll remember this now.
Belcher and Okami. I'm a huge Alan Belcher fan. Ugly tattoo and all. His tattoo looks like.
I was talking about his tattoo last week.
I know Andre's not gonna remember this, but do you remember? Did you ever watch the Muppet Show when you were a kid, Matt?
Yeah.
I do
you
remember.
remember-
Wait a
do you
minute,
remember-
How old do you think I fucking am? Of course I remember the Muppet Show.
Well, you're
No,
probably
you
talking
remember-
about they redid the Muppet Show for a little while there.
And that was
Oh.
it wasn't called the Muppet Show. It was called Muppets Tonight. That's why I said the Muppet Show.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I remember the Muppet Show.
No, the Muppet Show was like 70s and 80s.
Oh, goddamn, no.
No, you don't. So, I mean, it had like people like John Denver on there. Like, there's no way.
Who?
That you, yeah, exactly.
I apologize, sorry.
So, do you remember Muppets in Space?
Oh yeah.
Why does Alan Belcher's tattoo look like one of the characters from Muppets in Space? It doesn't even look like.
I don't know. I've always thought it looked like Fat Elvis.
Nope. I think it looks like Pigs in Space. He's wearing Pigs in Space on his arm.
I guess I'll have to look at it closer the next time, but it's a nasty tattoo.
It is. It's just not a good
the amount
tattoo.
of money that guy's got, and I mean, he's not rich by any stretch of the means, but
He's got enough to get a decent tattoo.
$4 or $5 you could get that fixed, Alan.
Yeah. And, it's a shame. But you know what? It's kind of his trademark now. But I really think Alan Belcher, after coming back from, a really long layoff, has shown that having such a long layoff can be one of two things. It can be, a horrible setback in your career, or it could be a blessing in disguise. And I think it allowed Alan Belcher to kind of refine things that he was lacking on before the injury. He barely squeaked. Well, in my opinion, he won that fight against Yoshihiro Akiyama. And if you have two eyes, you agree with me. But that was way too close of a fight. I think, if Alan Belcher had been training like he is now, back then he would have beaten, Akiyama handily. I think he's proven that he's amazing on the ground when he was able to pretty much out-grapple Polaris. He definitely hits very hard. He's a huge, huge middleweight. I don't think he's going to beat Anderson Silva, but I think that
No one can beat Anderson Silva.
no, I don't. To be honest with you, I think if Jesus came back right now, I don't know if he could beat Anderson Silva. To be honest with you,
damn.
yeah, I think he's that good.
Oh,
I think he might be
Eric's
his,
throwing down the gauntlet.
yeah, he might be his own deity at this point. So, I'm just really looking forward to Alan Belcher and Okami. Okami has solid wrestling, which I think will be a problem for Belcher. I don't think the stand-up will be a problem for Belcher, and we got to see how Belcher reacts to a guy who is, who is going to try and drag this out. I mean, that's kind of Okami's game. I think that Belcher's stand-up is good enough that Okami's going to want to take it to the ground, and we just got to see how he handles that kind of problem. I got to say, I'm looking forward to Joe Lauzon and Gray Maynard. Not that I think it's a particularly competitive match, but Lauzon has shown.
Really?
So what?
Really? You don't think that's a competitive fight?
I think Maynard's wrestling is so good. I don't know. I think Lauzon's stand-up game has just gotten so much better than I remember it getting. Like one day I woke up and I was like, "What the hell? What happened?" But Lauzon has shown some really great improvements in his stand-up game. If we know Maynard now, he's going to try and be a boxer first, and when that doesn't work, he's going to try and be a wrestler. So I want to see Lauzon's his scrambling. I want to see his takedown defense. And if he can get past Maynard, which he should be the underdog in that fight, and rightfully so, then he's really shot himself pretty far in the lightweight division, and I expect him to get a title shot not too long after that if he beats Maynard. If I have 4 and not 5, is that wrong? Should I just like pull one out my ass for number 5?
That's okay. I think we named almost every
Whoa.
fight that's happening in the next 6 weeks, so that's probably okay.
Maybe there's a
Please
Bellator
don't-
fight that's coming up. Maybe I can be
Please
different.
don't pull anything out of your ass. That's not what I'm here for.
Oh,
Neither
well.
is that, to be honest.
No, I mean, you gotta let it marinate for a while before you start pulling stuff out.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh, God,
Hey,
We
you're
did
the
not need to take the show there.
you're the one that's talking about pulling stuff out of people's ass.
you're the one who brought it up, dude. You wanna do it?
It's a figure of speech. You know
Oh.
that. You know that.
Yeah,
Another
I'm
fight
just
that I'm
good at
looking for.
taking things in the wrong direction.
Another fight I'm really looking forward to. Whatever. I gotta say, Tim Bosch versus Chris Weidman. I think it's gonna be an exciting fight.
What, did you just throw that 5th fight? Did you just pull something out of your ass?
No. This is number 4. This isn't even number
Oh,
5.
you
This is
have.
number
Okay, we
4.
were only.
Tim Bosch versus Chris Weidman.
Okay.
Seeing Chris Weidman in action again, period, just makes me pretty excited.
Be careful what
Well, this
you say.
show just continues to be sexual.
I'm trying not to.
Careful what you say.
I mean, it makes me. No, I was about to really go somewhere, and I'm not going to do it. But
Don't.
I am very happy about Tim Bosch versus Chris Weidman.
Yeah, I don't think anything you say now is going to work out for you.
No, it's not, especially with Andre cracking up every 15 seconds.
Hey.
I think it's a good matchup. In terms of, Tim Bosch has somehow managed to wiggle his way into the upper echelon of the middleweight division. If he should win the fight, which I don't think he will, but anything's possible, this is MMA, then he definitely deserves to be where he is. Chris Weidman, if he makes short work of Tim Bosch, who we have learned is a very, very tough dude. Like, he's a super tough dude.
Unless you're Phil Davis.
Unless you...
Unless you're Phil Davis and you can grapple him and submit him, which Chris Weidman can actually do.
Bosch was at 205 at that time. It was obviously not the weight class for him. Not that I'm making excuses for him, which I totally am. But, I think it'll be a good matchup, and the winner of that fight definitely comes out on top of the middleweight division, for sure. And what else am I looking forward to? Melvin Gillard versus Jamie Varner. Tell me what happened when I became a Jamie Varner fan. I don't know what happened. Something happened. Something clicked. Something weird happened.
He was really scared of Edson Barbosa. He just came out like a wild man, hoping to hell something good would happen. I mean, in the interview after the fight, that's pretty much what he says. I don't know what happened. Holy shit! That was kind of his reaction. So I think hey, props to Jamie Varner. I mean, that what killed me is the guy was retiring like 6 months earlier. He was retiring.
Hey, I'm saying the right money comes around, we all would probably come out of retirement.
Well, he came out of retirement and fought. He fought in Legends of Fighting, didn't he? That was where he came out of retirement. Was for Legends.
He got rear naked choked by the dude from the Ultimate Fire, and everyone was like, "Wow."
Dakota Cochran.
Dakota Cochran. He got
Who
rear
also
naked choked by him.
got to win this weekend as well.
But yeah, I'm with you, Jamie
I thought
Varner.
you were going to say something
he's
else.
Jamie
Like, we
fans.
know. We know, Erica. Thank you for telling us again. We all remember the story.
I don't know what to do with you. I'm going away now. But Melvin Gillard, Jamie Varner, I think that fight's going to be hella exciting. It doesn't do anything for the division, really, but damn, it's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do the UFC on, oh my god, was it Fuel? I'm pretty sure it's Fuel.
UFC on Fuel, I think 6. I think we're up to 6 now.
Jesus Christ, there's so much MMA. Yeah, Erica, if you can shout out do you want to do the main card?
Let's just stick with the main card.
Do the main card, because I'm yet to watch Homeland or Dexter tonight, so I don't want to go to bed too late. So
I was wanting to talk about Homeland and Dexter, and you haven't watched them yet?
Dude, I haven't had a chance.
I don't even want to hear it.
I just managed to watch The Walking Dead. Give me a break, dude.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, cool. Erica, first fight on the main card. What is that, please?
John Tuck, if you remember him from The Ultimate Fighter, he
I
tried out
don't.
for there.
Nasty Toe.
John
I
Tuck.
don't.
You don't?
Yeah, no, I
Nasty
think
Toe. He's the dude with he lost to Iaquinta. He had the busted up toe.
Yeah. He was doing really well in that fight up until that point where his toe decided to go in a different direction.
It's disgusting.
cool. No,
And
that.
I think his name is Tijuan Zhang. Is that how you pronounce it? The
Oh, is that
the Mongolian wolf. Yes.
Yes.
I thought he got released.
Not yet.
Oh, is that a prelude into what your picks gonna be?
It might be.
Okay, who have you got?
I'm actually going to go with John Tuck in this fight. I'm pretty sure I have a T-shirt from some of the Guam promotion he fights for. I had a buddy that was stationed over there, and he sent me a T-shirt. I meant to go look at that before we did the show. But regardless, John Tuck all the way. John Tuck's stand-up is solid. His ground game is actually pretty solid, which is pretty much all Zhang's got is a ground game. He throws a barrage of punches, but he keeps his hands low. Tuck's a powerful fighter. I think that Tuck's going to knock him out.
Nice. Erica, you got any thoughts on this fight, or are you going to throw your I don't care card into the fray?
I don't.
You only get one, remember?
Well, then I'll pick Tuck. If I only get one, then I'm picking Tuck.
All right. Cool,
No particular
cool.
reason other than Matt did. Next fight on the card is.
No, wait.
Sorry. Sorry.
No one cares about me.
Nobody cares what you say.
I don't give a shit what you say. You're always wrong. I'm gonna go with Tuck because I've just never been really impressed.
All he's got is a guillotine. That's pretty much it. He's can put it on like 50 different times. But
shout out to Danny Downs, lovely dude. But if you get beaten by Danny Downs, I don't really put much, stock into your skills. No offense to Danny Downs.
I think that's the overwhelming majority feel the way that you do about that too. So.
Look, dude, nice, lovely dude, but I can't. I saw him get destroyed by Ramsey Needham the way he did as well. Tough as hell, tough as old boots. But when you get beaten up like that, I sort of just go, okay, I can't really put stock into people that you've actually beaten. How good were they really? So yeah, that's my opinion. Next fight, please, Erica, and I apologize for cutting you off. Thank you.
Alex Caceres versus Motonobu Tezuka.
That's racist.
Height.
We're going to hell. Matt, do you want to take a stab at saying?
I really don't want to because it's going to make me pick Alex Caceres. I don't see how he loses this fight in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I think Tezuka is like the third guy that they've matched up against Caceres on this card.
Yeah.
They can't seem to get somebody to stick. And Caceres, man, he continues to look better. I mean, his stand-up still gets a little sloppy. He tries to do a little bit too much kung fu movie style MMA. But the kid can pull out some wins. And actually, like I said, his last fight was really impressed. So I'm going to go with Caceres in this fight. Probably way a submission.
Yeah, I'm going to go Caceres as well. It's the fact that he tapped. Well, a lot of people tapped Damasio Page, but Damasio Page was a much more experienced fighter from a very good camp. Where Alex Caceres, a lot of potential, but what is he actually showing? But he showed quite a lot in that fight because he was getting damaged to quite a bit of it too. So shout out to Alex Caceres. I'll be giving him the shot and the win that night as well, also by submission. Erica?
I'll go with Caceres. I don't think he's. I think his opponent is somebody he should be able to win against, but I think Caceres has shown some improvement overall. He seems to be taking it a little bit more seriously. He's not quite the goofball that he used to be, or at least how he showed up on The Ultimate Fighter. And he's showing some good submission defense, or trying to anyway. And he's at least entertaining to watch. So why not keep him around? I say Alex Caceres.
Cool. Next fight.
Mac Danzig, whom we didn't know was still in the UFC, versus Takanori Gomi. Again.
Who really probably shouldn't be in the UFC.
Which one shouldn't be in the UFC? Gomi or Danzig or both?
To be honest, I think Wyman's still. I think Mac Danzig beat Wyman the second time they fought.
Yeah, I had Wyman that night. I've watched the fight a couple times, and I can see the decision going to Danzig as well. Danzig's looked great in his last 3 fights. So
yeah, he really has, and that's why I'm going to pick him. To be honest, because he's looked really.
It's not because Takanori Gomi looks like complete and utter crap.
And that too, that is that is a variable in the reason why I've picked Mac Danzig. I was just impressed by his skills, and after having a long conversation with him and listening to various interviews that he's done since said conversation, I think he's in a really good place, and I think that he's finally. I think he's one of those guys who has to do things his way. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't. I think he just basically wants to do things his own way, and now that he's doing it, I think that's going to steer him into a better place, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Danzig.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I'm going to have to probably agree with you on that. I mean, I think that if you look at Mitsuoka Gomi, Mitsuoka's built similarly to Danzig. He's stout and was able to push Gomi around a little bit there in the first round. He clipped Gomi, almost finished the fight. Max cardio solid. His power's definitely there. He's gotten bigger. He's put on some more muscle. He's technically better than Gomi standing, and I think that he's fantastic on the ground as well as far as transitions and submissions. I don't really see any way for Gomi to win this fight other than maybe landing a big shot, which is that's Gomi's thing, landing a big fireball upside Mac's head, maybe knocking him out. But that's a long shot. I think Mac Danzig wins this fight. So I'm going to probably go with a submission win, middle of third round.
Cool. Erica, who you got?
I'm going to go with Danzig.
Cool.
I don't know how.
Why?
I just don't think Gomi is Gomi anymore. I just think that the new breed of fighters are just too much for him, and as Danzig isn't quite top of the division, I still think he's better than Gomi. So, Danzig.
Cool. What's the next fight?
We have Dong Hyun Kim, not being racist, and Paulo Thiago.
I don't care card, Matt.
I'm going with the stun gun here. UD. I imagine he'll come in and he'll control the fight. I don't see Paulo Thiago coming in and bringing anything that stun gun can't deal with. I mean, Thiago's had the injury problems, cardio problems, just general problems. Stun gun, I think he takes a UD here.
Mm-hmm.
Problems. I've heard he's had problems too. So,
Erica?
I'm going with the stun gun as well. I just think he's a big dude, and aside from a few setbacks,
he's a big dude. He's a large man,
and I just think he's going to be just too much for Paulo Thiago. And once he gets into the later rounds, I agree with Matt. I think that Kim will probably have the upper hand in cardio once he gets there. So
cool. So what's the co-main event?
Stanislav Nedkov
versus
Thiago Silva.
Shit, I knew I used my bank care card too early. Shit. Can I take it back and then give you my opinion?
I think it's too late for that.
God damn it. I just don't care. I think Thiago Silva's going to blitz him. That's really what I have to say about that fight, to be honest. It means nothing. Is Stanislav Nedkov going to go higher up into the echelons of the light heavyweight division and make a run for it? No, he's not. Get out of here.
It is a pretty lame co-main event. Nedkov, though, I mean, he's got a power shot, but he's too small. You know what? You said that when he fought Luis Kane, and I picked him to beat Luis Kane. You picked Luis Kane, and what happened? What happened in that fight? Yeah, Kane got knocked out. I think Kane got knocked out. But I'm not picking him in this fight.
It's Luis Khan. The hell, man.
It's Kane now, dude. I know it was, but now it's Kane. I don't even understand it. MMA fighters change the way their names are pronounced more often than anybody in any sport.
That reminds me of when Jamie Varner was making fun of Donald Cerrone. Like, how is it Donald Cerrone? It's clearly Donald Cerrone. The guy's so dumb he can't even spell his surname.
Yeah,
he can't even say it properly.
I don't know, man. But yeah, it's everyone seems to be pronouncing it Kane now, even Luis. So I'm going to go with that for the moment. But it doesn't matter because Nedkov is, like I say, he's small, light heavyweight. Thiago Silva, even though he's coming off a 7-month layoff, Silva's the all around better fighter here. I mean, unless Silva's just lost everything and every just the will to fight, there's no way Nedkov wins this fight. I think Silva will get a late round TKO.
Cool. Erica? You do have the I don't care card.
I choose to use my I don't care card on this particular fight.
Good. What's the main event? I already know what it is, so I thought I'd ask you.
It is Rich Franklin versus Kung. Do you say Lei or Lee? I always say Lei, Kung Lei, but
I say Kung Lei, but again, he might decide it's Kung Lee to be more like Bruce Lee since he's doing movies now. I don't know.
Well, I've never heard it said as Kung Lei.
I don't know.
I would assume that if it was Lei, it would be Lei.
Depending on whether it's there's so many different ways to Romanize that crap. It's because I took Kung Fu and like one school would spell it one way and one school would spell it another way and it was still pronounced the same way. I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't know that anyone finds this interesting, so let's move on.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Kung. We'll call him Kung.
Opinions, please.
King Kong. No.
My opinion, Rich Franklin. My opinion is that Rich Franklin drowns Kung Lee in the late rounds. TKO. Kung Lee is exciting from the outside. Rich knows that. He's only dangerous if he can keep his distance. Rich will close the distance, beat on him, take him to the ground, wear him out, and finish him.
Erica?
Not impressed with Kung. Rich Franklin.
Kung who?
All right, King Kong. We're on King Kong.
Oh,
now,
God.
are we not doing King Kong?
No.
No. I like it. I kind of like it.
If I can't make a reference to it because I'm too young, we're not doing that.
What are you talking about? They had the Peter Jackson remake.
Yeah.
Oh, King Kong! I thought you were singing a song.
What the hell are you talking about?
Is there a song?
I thought I heard it like make a rhyme to it, like King Kong. Let's get it on. I was like, what?
It's Busta Rhymes.
No, that was all. That was freestyling, son. I got skills. What is he? Rich Franklin. I'm going with Rich Franklin. I have Rich Franklin TKOing the hell out of Kung in this fight.
TKOing the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Straight to hell, not the hell. Straight to hell. Out cold.
So where are you at, Andre?
Where do you think I'm at, Matt?
I think you're taking Kung Lee Lei in this fight.
You must be out of your... Listen, right? Listen, I'm not picking Kung Lee.
He's fighting in Asia. He's fighting in China, though.
I don't give a rat's ass. I could be fighting in Jamaica and still get my ass beaten. Dude, I'm going with Kung Lee. What? No, I'm going with Rich Franklin. Oh, Inception, damn it. I'm going with Rich Franklin. I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure that Rich Franklin can defeat Kung Lee.
Yeah, I don't see that fight. It should be entertaining though for the first round, and then Rich will zap his cardio, and then it won't be entertaining any longer.
No, but definitely
unless you dislike Kung Lee, then it'll be entertaining throughout.
I don't dislike Kung Lee. I just think Rich Franklin has more tools. And that's my opinion. So let's get off the MMA talk because we don't just talk about mixed martial arts here. We talk about entertainment stuff. Matt, the mic is yours.
Well, all I've got to say is what will you be doing tomorrow? That's the question. What will you be doing tomorrow?
I won't be playing Halo 4.
I can't hear that. Did I hear that right?
I think you did, and you know how much I love Halo as well.
How are you not going to be playing Halo 4 tomorrow?
I'm a very busy man, and that's the reason I'm not been playing Halo. I'll be playing Halo either Friday, or I'll be playing it at the end of the month.
That's a travesty.
I know, it hurts me. It hurts me a lot, but it's what you gotta do, man.
Well, I will be playing Halo 4, and I'll probably just like send you some vids. And,
No,
and
you
like,
honestly,
ha 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 ha.
you must realise that I probably won't accept those vids. I won't accept them. I'll cry. I will actually cry. I've been playing Halo Reach recently, though. That was good.
Have you? Did you play the campaign?
No.
You're playing them. So you're just a multiplayer guy. Or you're not into the story.
I can play campaign. I can play campaign, but I'm playing a PC game at the moment called Football Manager, and that's basically.
Yeah, I know. I've seen your posts. Football Manager.
Yeah.
How's that even entertaining?
It really is. It really is.
I think they put something on there that's like subliminally making you like, I want to continue to play.
I literally, all I do is click. And
Isn't it just a bunch of numbers? It doesn't. You don't even you can't even watch them play, can you?
No, I'm actually watching them. I've been watching them play this entire show. That's why I've been asking Erica to do stuff.
You're multitasking in video games. That's always good.
Yeah. No, but I'm just gonna try and get decent at Halo Reach again. So when I get onto Halo 4, I'm not completely blitzed. And it's like, I don't know what's going on here. I can't play.
For those of you that don't know, Halo 4 will be releasing tomorrow, and it is probably the most one of the most storied franchises on the Xbox 360. And I will be playing it. Andre's a loser, and he will not be playing it. Regardless if he's trying to say that he's got responsibilities, blah, 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 blah. This might be, this might very well be the greatest game ever to grace the 360 as far as a shooter is concerned. And Andre is going to miss out on it, and the old man is going to be playing it. So, who is the loser?
The old man who's still playing video games.
Touche.
Thank you very much, sir.
But what about The Walking Dead? So I know you watched that. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, how are they gonna end this season? Have you noticed recently?
I have no idea. I think that was a surprise to everyone. The way that, well, I guess everyone that followed the comic to see that happen this early. I don't know. It shouldn't be. They do pretty much. Kirkman's doing whatever the hell he wants. He's changing everything up, so there really shouldn't be any surprises.
That's not the way it happened in the comics, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, my wife was she's pregnant, but she was bawling her eyes out at the end of that.
She has every right to bawl her eyes out.
Well, I wasn't. I was just. I felt really bad. I was like,
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, and it's so uncomfortable that it's great.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
But the thing is, here's my thing. I don't know if she's dead because we didn't see the death on camera.
Well, you sort of saw the death on camera. What do you mean you didn't see the death on camera?
Are you talking about Carol, or are you talking about
Laurie?
No, Laurie's dead, dude.
Okay, cool.
So, what are you? I was gonna say you saw her get cut open.
I know, but I didn't see it. I didn't. You know, when he shot her.
Yeah, they did. They show. Oh, you mean they didn't? You didn't get to see Carl not keeping her from turning into a zombie.
Yeah, I have a bloodlust. What can I say?
But what happened to Carol? That's what I want to know.
Nasty.
Tell me
what was that?
What happened to Carol? That's what I want to know.
I want to know how Carol. I don't know how Carol escaped as well. I don't know. Obviously, she's still alive. So.
Well,
what
do you mean you don't know how she escaped? They showed her leave, and then they were like.
Yeah, but she's getting chased by there's zombies all over the place, and she's by herself, no gun.
True. No, you're not wrong about that. But they kind of infer that she
ran outside, and the prison is overran with zombies.
I hope she's not dead. I liked her. I hope her and the racist dude get it on.
I am glad that T-Dog is dead.
Why?
I hated his name.
Oh God.
His name was horrible. I mean, that was like the whole series. I've just never able to understand when they were writing it. They're like, let's name this guy T-Dog. I'm like, why would you?
They're like,
why?
no, we need an angry black guy from the '80s.
But he's not even an angry black guy. That's the thing. He
was in the beginning.
Anything.
He was in the beginning.
Sort of. Yeah, I guess he was for like 10 minutes.
He was the angry black guy.
He quickly realised that the world is full of zombies, and he should probably be nice to the people that he's with right now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I was glad to see him meet his demise. I tell you what, the most moving thing for me was Rick in the end. His anguish. I mean, that might be the best performance of the series thus far. I mean, that actually got to me. Lori, it was a great performance, but didn't get to me. Rick seeing the baby and then looking at his son and.
I have a feeling about this. I think it got to you because you're a man and you can relate to that, whereas your wife related to it because she's pregnant and she has a child as well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I still can relate to, giving your life for your kid. I mean, anything to do with kids gets me upset anymore. That happens once you have kids. But I don't know. I get what I guess what it was is because in the comic, when Lori.
Whoa. Spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, say.
We should have been doing that a little bit earlier since we've been talking about the end of this show.
No, I don't go fuck. When it comes to comic books, though, that's a different thing we don't talk about, but you know what's going to happen when you do the show properly, so.
Okay, well, I think that people have enough time now. But the splash page, when she gets shot, I was devastated. I was just like, holy shit! The bullet rips through her and rips through the baby. That got to me.
Yeah.
But last night, great performance. I don't know. I just didn't care, and which is, I guess, really bad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I think you should put your wife on the line. We need to talk to her real quick.
Yeah, I know. I get that way though sometimes. I don't know.
Okay,
But overall, it was a great episode. I mean, I'm just glad that all the fans that complained about last season can now shut the hell up. Which I don't understand why you complained about last season. I thought last season was fantastic, but they're definitely moving at the speed of light, wiping out everybody.
Yeah, definitely. The last few things that we're going to talk about before I decide to depart, because I'm going to end up going to bed at 1 in the morning for watching these shows. Homeland and Dexter, am I going to enjoy them both this week?
Homeland, absolutely. Dude, it's impossible to not enjoy Homeland. I mean, the writers, the acting, best.
They're ballsy as fuck.
Yeah, and they're the best out there right now. I mean, that is by far and away the best show available to watch currently. There is nothing that even comes close to comparing to it.
I think as long as they don't jump the shark, it may go down as one of the best shows ever.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's just well acted all the way across, and the storyline's fantastic, and you just constantly keep you guessing. This episode did I wouldn't say jump the shark, but the ending is a little fishy. But everything else is so fantastic.
I need to ask your opinion. What do you think of the new guy character? I fucking love him.
Oh, I love him too. I mean, he's kind of a dick, but you can tell that he still cares. He's a good introduction. Like I said, they've just done a really good job of casting. I mean, there's nothing about that show. I mean, the way it's shot. I mean, everything's great. Dexter.
Because most of the actors are British. That's why. The dude is a dick. British. Damian Lewis. British.
But Dexter. I don't know.
You completely ignored it.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore it. Dexter, I think you'll enjoy it. This season of Dexter, I've been kind of up and down with.
Oh, how can you be up and down with it? It's amazing.
I don't know. My favorite season still is the Trinity.
Yeah, that was the best season. That was the best season out of all of them.
And I don't know. Like I said, I think I don't know. I'll be really interested to see what you think of this episode because I was disappointed with the end of this episode. So we'll have to revisit that next week.
Cool. Right. I suppose that's the end of the show. I enjoyed myself. I hope you enjoyed yourself too, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Matt, is there anyone you want to thank?
As always, we want to thank everybody that listens to the show and continue to listen. Hit us up at Andre Jacobs MMA, Matt Simpson MMA, FightFans _ Erica on Twitter. And we'll see you guys hopefully next week.
Yeah, what he said. Ditto. I know you hate saying ditto, so I'll just say.
Right on.
Right on, bro. Right, guys. So, as per usual, we'll just end this with a "We're out of here, peace." Erica, play the funky music that really isn't funky, please.